What is up, Starseeds? It's Sid, and today I am going to be sharing my labor and delivery story. Okay, I don't know if you've watched my trimester videos 1, 2, and 3, but there's going to be a link in the description to my pregnancy and parenting playlist if you're interested. But this is the story of me birthing my child, okay? First time mom, super exciting, and I didn't want to think about labor, I didn't want to think about that until it happened. I did my research, I was prepared, but I didn't want to go through the process of going to classes. I thought that was a bit much. I didn't want to stress about it, you know what I'm saying? I didn't want to think about it that much. I just wanted to have my good thoughts on it, like, I'm gonna be zenned out, oming through this, okay? I didn't want any medicine. I wanted it to be supernatural. And it was for the first 6 centimeters. So let's get into this from the beginning, okay? So if you watched my trimester videos, you will know that how pregnant I was 3 weeks less than what the doctors thought I was, because I didn't go to the doctor for a while. So the first ultrasound, they said I was 16 weeks and really I was 13. So at the time of this doctor's appointment, okay, I am 38 weeks, but the doctor thinks I am 40, almost 41. So they're, in their head, they're like, this baby should be coming out now, okay? In my head, I'm like, ooh, spiritual, astrology, like he's gonna be born on his birthday, no Pitocin, please. And so we're just having our normal conversation, how's it going? Good, everything ready? Yep, and so she measures me and she's like, you're measuring a bit small, so I want to give you an ultrasound and check your amniotic fluid. I'm like, all right. And Zach's kind of like, is everything okay? Like, I'm like, yes, good vibes, think everything's okay, know everything's okay. So she checks my right side, looking for this amniotic fluid. She's like, there's barely any. So there needs to be a lot on your left side, or else this is not okay. I'm like, all right. I'm like, left side, there's lots of fluid. Yes, yes, yes. So she checks the left side. She's like, there's none. I'm like, dang it. So basically, he is like inside this air mattress with like no air. That's not comfy. That's not safe. She's like, this isn't like an emergency, like put you on a stretcher and take you to the hospital right now, but this is an emergency, like you need to go to the hospital tonight. I'm like, okay, like this is happening. Never did I ever think that I was going to go to the hospital not in labor. Like, I'm pregnant. Like, you go to the hospital in labor. Like, I don't want to be induced. But that was what had to happen for this baby to come out safely. So I'm like, all right. So we go back to the house, and I'm trying to be calm, and apparently I'm, like, stalling. Apparently. Like, I knew what I was doing, but I didn't mean to do it. I'm just like, let me throw in this last load of laundry, everybody. Like, the bassinet pad thing needs to be washed. Everything else is done, but I just set this bassinet up, like, let me just wash this real quick. Like, maybe let me eat something. Like, is there anything else I have to do? Oh yeah, put the nursing bras in the hospital bag, and we're all set to go. Like, so we go to the hospital, and originally I just wanted it to be me and Zach, but because of this whole induction situation, I wanted my mom there too, which I never thought that would happen, but it did. So in Michigan right now, in this hospital, not sure how it is in other places, but at St. Jude's in Ann Arbor, you can have 2 other people besides the woman giving birth and the baby and the doctors in the room, okay? And you're expected to wear a mask at all times, which blows my mind. I already told the doctors, like, it's in my birth plan that I'm not wearing a mask when I'm in labor, okay? It's already hard enough for me to breathe. I've got a baby pushing on not just my bladder, but my lungs, and my lungs more so than my bladder, okay? It's not a pleasant feeling, and it makes things hard to breathe. So we get to the hospital, and the labor and delivery part was amazing, okay? Such great care. I don't know if this is how it is all the time or if this is only during COVID. See, I don't know because I've only gone through this baby journey during COVID. The whole pregnancy and the labor and delivery, all during this pandemic. I have no clue how it works without COVID, but that's okay. So I got my one nurse, okay? She's got her one patient, and that's me. I am the only pregnant lady that she is focusing on, and I love it, okay? So I had 3 different nurses throughout this whole process, and the first one left, like, before I was in labor, which is very interesting. And then the second one I had was there the whole labor process, and then she left right before I was pushing, okay? And my third nurse was there just for, like, giving birth and then getting stitched up after. So we're at the hospital. I got my nurse here, and we're just kind of going over the plan because I'm not in labor, which is so crazy. And I had already pre-registered and everything, but there's still stuff you have to sign once you get there, which just blows my mind, okay? So I don't want any medicine. I'm not even signing for the fentanyl and the morphine and all that. No thanks. Not okay with me. Like, I'll sign for the laughing gas and I'll sign for the epidural just in case, because I'm not gonna want to sign that when I'm in labor, right? So sign all the paperwork. Do you want eye drops? No. Like, do you want these shots? Okay. Like, signing all this paperwork, it's a lot, you guys. Like, I don't know why you can't do that when you pre-register. That makes no sense to me. Anyways, so Zach's next to me in this comfy chair. My mom's over here in this non-comfy chair. She just got out of the hospital for diverticulosis. Not sure which one. They're both pretty much the same thing. So she, like, needs a comfy chair. Like, she is fresh out of the hospital. And she hasn't been in the hospital since she gave birth to my little brother. So she's not feeling, like, the best. So she's constantly like, can I please get a comfy chair? Like, Zach's over here, his blood sugar is super high, and he just got an insulin pump. I'm like, do a shot of insulin if the pump is not giving you enough. Like, get your blood sugar down. And then at this point, I have doctors coming in like, okay, Sydney, you have a couple options, but it is time to get this process going. You either need a decent amount of Pitocin, or you need a balloon, or both. I'm like, you see, I want this baby to come naturally. Like, can I bounce on the ball? Like, what induces labor naturally? They're like, at this point, nothing. Like, we need to do this. I'm like, okay. Do you want to give me an ultrasound and just double check? They're like, we trust the doctor's opinion, like, this is happening now. I'm like, okay. I'm like, so I really don't want either of those. But what is this balloon thing you speak of? Like, I've never heard of that. So they show me this tube that's connecting this little, it's not little, it looks like a jumbo tampon sort of thing. That goes in ya, okay? And then this tube kind of hangs out, and it's connected to this ball that kind of blows that up inside of you to get you more dilated. So I'm coming into the hospital already about 2.5 centimeters dilated, which I had been for like a couple weeks. My mucus plug already came out a few days before, which I'll do another video on pretty soon. Because that can be its own video if you want to watch that, because some people think it's gross, but it's not gross. This is natural. This is a natural process, okay? So, it's beautiful. And, I'm hearing about this balloon. I'm not too thrilled about this, but I'm also not too thrilled about the Pitocin. But Pitocin is a natural thing that occurs in your body. I'm trying to just convince myself that I don't know which option to go with. Let's just do the balloon, and if y'all want to throw in a little bit of Pitocin with it to kind of kick this off, let's try that first, okay? So that nurse goes home, new nurse comes in, Jess. She's awesome, super cool. She took my nose piercing out for me just because I wanted no piercings, just I don't know. I just wanted that, okay? And that's all right. So, they put this balloon in me. And I don't even remember if they had Pitocin going already or not, okay? Because I am just kind of, it was chaotic in here, all right, to say the least. So this balloon goes in, and it's the most painful experience of my life. Just this balloon. The balloon was the most painful, okay? And apparently they hear that a lot. So it's not just me, you guys. Okay, this is like, it's happening now. Like, I had Braxton Hicks before. I'd experienced, you know, practice contractions. But this is the real thing. This balloon, this object inside of me is making my body go into labor, and I really didn't like it. So I'm just trying to relax. I'm trying to zen out because I'm doing this naturally. And I'm just like, peace, love, light, all that. And my mom's over here like, can I get a comfy chair? Zach's over here throwing up because now he's in DKA. I'm like, oh my God. I have doctors coming in and out. I have my nurse Jess like, can I get you anything? I'm like, no, I'm fine. Take care of them. I'm like, oh. I'm just making noises. I'm like, I'm trying to zen out right now. Like, I'm pretty sure the only thing on the birth plan that got followed was that the lights were dim, okay? So I got my dim lights going. I'm just, like trying to be stress-free, but it's a stressful situation. I'm like, how much longer does this balloon thing have to be in me? I'm like trying to pull it out now. And I'm like trying to zen out, but I've got all this. So I'm like, okay, this is it. Play First Day Out by T. Grizzly. Play First Day Out. Like, I barely listen to rap music anymore. Like, I just listen to like my binaural beats. I thought that's what I was gonna want in labor. But it turns out I just needed to hear some T. Grizzly, which is perfectly fine, okay? So it's kind of awkward. My mom's over here like listening to this, and it's, you guys know the words. And I'm just like, jamming out, like, and then I'm like, okay. I'm like, play Girl on Fire. Like, I need to pull this balloon out myself, because this pain is ending. It's ending now. And I'm yanking on it. I'm like, oh no, this hurts. Like, I don't want to hurt myself anymore. I'm like, Jess, I'm like, can you take my balloon out? She's like, it's been in for about 50 minutes. Most people have this in for like 12 hours or something, like crazy like that. So I'm like, just take it out. And she gave me no warning, which was how I wanted it. Like, props to her. She knows how to do her job so well. So she's like, okay, I'm gonna take, and she like rips it out while she's speaking. So I had no clue when this was gonna happen. This is like the most stuck on Band-Aid ever. Like, this hurt so bad. Like, this doesn't even compare to taking this balloon out. She pulls it out. I see like blood like fly. I'm like, oh my God. And then I see this balloon. This, like, it's big, you guys. It's like, it's over half the size of my head. Like, this thing is huge. I'm like, that was inside of me. She's like, yep. I'm like, oh my God, why do women go through this? I'm like, I wish I just did the Pitocin. But, you know, maybe that helped. I don't know. Anyways, so they come in and check me. It hurts so bad. And I think I was like 4 now. I'm like, all right, but we still have 6 to go. Like, so I'm like, okay, I'm getting in the bathtub. At this point, like, I was already like fully naked, like 0 F's given. Like, I'm in labor. Like, the contractions were already happening from the balloon. Like, I'm in labor now. Like, put me in the tub. Thank you, universe, for giving me a bathtub room, because I needed that. I love the water. It helps with the pain so much, you guys. Highly recommend getting in the tub for at least part of the process, okay? In my head, I wanted to give birth in the tub, but when it actually happened, I just wanted to be in the tub for like a bit, probably like an hour, and they upped my Pitocin from 1 to 2. I don't know what units this is, but from 1 to 2. So they doubled my Pitocin while I was in the tub, and I could feel it, okay? So the contractions start getting real, and I've I've got Zach trying to be comforting, but he's really just like stressing me out. And I'm just like, like play my binaural beats for me. Like this frequency, this frequency. I'm just like naming what frequency I want at what time. I'm like, play my 963 hertz, like, play my 528, like, and it's just like not really helping. I'm trying to be zenned out, but it's just not really working, okay? And so then Jess is like, let's get you out of the tub, like, let's check and see where you're at now. I'm like, okay, because this is getting really bad. And okay, they tell you, I remember in school even, they say it's getting real when your contractions are 1 to 2 minutes apart. I'm thinking you have 1 minute in between, because when I researched this pregnant, I've got my pregnancy brain. They start at the beginning of one contraction, end at the beginning of another contraction. For some reason, I didn't put 2 and 2 together. I'm thinking you have like a minute of downtime to breathe. No. You have about 5 to 10 seconds, okay? Because if your contractions are 1 minute apart, one contraction lasts for like 50 seconds, and then you have 10 seconds before the next contraction. Just take that in. Okay, so I'm in the tub. I have 10 seconds to go from sitting down in the tub to standing up and holding the side of the tub. Then I have 10 seconds to go from holding the side of the tub to holding the bathroom counter. Then I have 10 seconds to go from the bathroom counter to the bed. Okay, so I'm going through 3 contractions just getting from the tub to the bed at this point. It's getting real. And so I get in bed, and they're gonna check me, and like it hurts like a bit less, but like it still really hurts. They're like, you're at 6. I'm like, what? That's 4 more to go. Like I'm at the point where like I don't know if I can do this. Like I'm like trying to be positive, but I'm like I feel lightheaded, like my heart hurts, like I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this. And I'm like, let's try the laughing gas, because this is not working, okay? And also, pretty much as soon as I get out of the water, I'm at the point where I need Jess to push on my back whenever I have a contraction. So she only has 10 seconds of downtime. I'm trying to get Zach to do it. I'm trying to get my mom to do it. No one does it like Jess can do it. Like, that's her job, and she is good at it. Like, she is the only thing that was keeping me okay, relatively okay throughout the back labor. And like she only has 10 seconds to rest, and I just feel so bad for my nurse helping me. So I'm like, let's do the laughing gas. Let's try it out. Laughing gas is stupid. Okay? Who thought this was a good idea for women to have this option in labor? It made me high, okay? I am in pain and high at this point. Like, I'm over here like breathing this in heavy. Like I had this mask on for 2 minutes, like a minute and a half, 2.5 minutes, like 2 minutes. Okay, I'm just taking deep inhales of all of this stuff. And I take the mask off finally. And I'm just like fried. I'm like, who the hell invented this? Like, I am so pissed off right now. Like, I am high and in pain. This is not taking away any of my pain. I'm like, I think I want the epidural. So Jess knows what I think I want means. She knows that I want it. She goes, gets the epidural people, and I'm over here like, someone push on my back, please. Like, oh my God. I'm just like, I can't talk most of the time. I'm just like pointing, like push on my back, like, oh my God. Like, props to those women who can do this naturally. I would love to do it naturally someday, but I was just too stressed out to do this naturally. So the epidural lady comes in. I thought I would be nervous for the needle. I didn't look at it. I'm just like, there's my back. Go ahead. Do what you gotta do. Like, so she gives me the epidural, and I was expecting instant relief. It was definitely not instant relief. Like, I took about 40 minutes, I want to say, to kick in. There's this button you can press to up it. I never pressed the button. I don't know if a nurse pressed the button for me. I don't know if Zach pressed the button for me. I think someone pressed the button, but it was not me, okay? So I know that, like, this is probably gonna hit me hard. Like, I am, like a skinny little girl. Like, I'm expecting to feel relief, okay? And I'm like, I don't feel anything. And then it finally kicks in, and when it kicks in, let me tell you, it kicks in, because I'm like, yay, like, I can take a nap before I have a baby, like, this is gonna be amazing now, like, I am relaxed. I swear to you, I'm still high from the laughing gas too, but now that my pain is gone, it's okay. They're telling me that the laughing gas wears off in 30 seconds. I am proof that that is not true, okay, because I was high the whole experience somehow. Okay, I don't know if the epidural helped with that a little bit or not, but let me tell you, I was medicated, all right? And I'm over here about to take a nap, and then this nurse comes in, and she's not my nurse. I'm like, who do you think you are, lady? Like, what are you doing in here? Like, I'm fine, I'm about to take a nap. And she's like, well, we're gonna check you for dilation. Jess just went on her break. I'm like, I don't really want to be checked right now. I was about to take a nap, but okay, do what you gotta do. And I can't feel anything. I'm just like, go ahead and check it, ladies. Like, there you go. They're like, oh my God, you're at 10. It's time to push. I'm like, it's time to push, everybody. So I'm just like, pushing. They're like, you're not pushing. I'm like, yes, I am. They're like, here, my finger's right here, push my finger out. I'm like, and they're like, it's not moving my finger at all. You're not pushing. I'm like, I'm pushing with all my might. So if I'm not pushing, then this is just going to have to wait. And they're like, okay, it's gonna have to wait. And like, this is my, like, one of my favorite doctors, who is the one telling me that I'm not pushing right now, and she has to leave in like an hour. And I'm like, if it's gotta wait, it's gotta wait. Like, doctor I don't know is gonna birth my baby, whatever. I do not care at this point. No care in the world as long as he comes out healthy, right? So I couldn't sleep after that. I know I'm 10 centimeters. I know I have to push it any time. So I did not take a nap. I know I didn't. And I'm just sitting there, just kind of waiting, just chilling, just listening to my binaural beats, trying to zen out. But like, I can't feel my legs. Like, I can't feel anything. And then his heart rate dropped a couple times, and I kind of knew in my head intuitively, like, I feel like I should turn to the side. So I do feel like I could have done this at home if I was already doing this at home, but I'm also very glad that I was in the hospital, just so they could confirm that thought, because it was a chaotic situation, all right? So I want to get back in the tub, but like, I can't. I'm stuck in the bed. Like, I have an epidural. It really kicked in after a while. I cannot feel anything down there. Like, nada. Like, I couldn't even push. I was so numb, which I did not think it would do that to me, but it did. So 3 hours later, they come back in. They came in a couple more times, but I'm like, I'm not ready yet. I can't push. So they come back in, and they're like, let's do this now, finally. So a new nurse comes in, who's my nurse the whole pushing process, okay? And so like I said, I can't really move my legs, but I can move my muscles enough to push. So she brings this bar. I'm like grabbing on this bar, like pushing every contraction, okay? My favorite position was by far on my hands and knees, okay? Because they said, like, his heart rate's dropping, like, you need to turn to a different position. I'm like, someone help me, like, I can't move. And they're like, no, like, you need to turn. I'm like, hello, grab my leg, I can't move, someone help me. No one's helping me. They're like, you really need to turn. I'm like, I flip. Like, if I need to turn, boom, I got it. Don't know where that energy came from, but mom instinct, it came, and I flipped, okay? Hands and knees was by far the best position. I had the most progress pushing him out in that position. highly recommend, because you're not working against gravity like you would be if you were laying on your back, okay? Your gravity is working with you on your hands and knees, okay? And it felt good somehow. Like, if that makes sense, okay? Like, I knew I was pushing him out. Like, this didn't hurt. I felt the pressure. I could feel it happening. But, like, there was no pain because I was really numbed up. I have no clue how it would have been without an epidural. I don't know if it would have been more or less painful than the balloon. No clue. So I can't tell you. All I know is that balloon freaking hurt. And giving birth with an epidural did not hurt, okay? So then this doctor comes in. Her name's Dr. Sydney, okay? And she's over here spreading apart my vagina, okay? Tearing it. She's not spreading apart, she's tearing it. And I'm just like, that hurt, okay? So I'm numbed up, but like that hurt. And his heart rate keeps dropping. I keep changing position, and then they're like, just to let you know, like, there's these two devices, okay? There is these, I don't remember what they're called, but they go in and pull its head out, and then there's this vacuum that sucks his head out if need be, okay? They're like, you're kind of past the point of a C-section because his head is, like, keeps coming in and out, like, like, when there was a contraction, I push, and he's like, almost out, like, push harder, and then, like, there would be that 10 seconds of no contraction, and then it would just kind of suck back in, okay? And, like, I'm so close, you can't go for a C-section anymore. He's too far out. Like, these are your options, just to let you know. You probably won't need it. Like, you're so close. And I'm just like, I continue to be so close for a while. And then they're like, okay, this is going to be the last contraction. You're going to push really hard, and we're going to suck him out with a vacuum. And I'm like, oh my God. Okay. Like, and he comes out. And they, like, set him on my chest, and he's crying, his arms are out, he's like, oh my God, I just, came out of a womb into a room, like a little starfish pose, and oh my God, like, everyone says that, they always talk about that moment, and, like, now I know, like, that was amazing. I want to wrap this up because he obviously wants some cuddles. But, I swear to you, as soon as he stops crying, I thought about what I was going to say to him when he first came out for so long. Like, my whole life, I thought about this moment, right? And the thoughts that I had of, like, welcome to Earth, or, like, I love you, or, like, hello, son, like, all of these things. I'm just like, it's okay, because he's, like, crying. And then I tell him, like, thank you for coming to Earth, like, and then he stops crying, and I swear to you, he picks his head up and, like, looks around the room, and he puts his head, like, back in my chest, and they're stitching me up at this point, and at this point, the epidural is, like, it's, like, wearing off. Like, I can move my legs now, and they're stitching me up for 50 minutes, and it hurts, but, like, it doesn't matter, because I have it on my chest, like, you guys, it was amazing, okay? And, yeah, the birth plan did not get followed whatsoever, except for the dimming of the lights and the no eye drops. Like, this lady was wiping him off a little bit when he came out, and I was not happy. I was like, oh no, no wiping, put him here. Like, did you read the plan? And I didn't want them to cut the umbilical cord for a while. There's this thing called a lotus birth where you don't cut it at all, and it just stays attached to the placenta. But apparently, I was bleeding, like, a lot, and my iron felt really freaking low after. So I think that's why. And they're like, we need to cut the umbilical cord. Like, it had been, like, maybe 5 minutes, and I'm like, okay, have Zach cut the cord if you have to, like, as long as it's done pulsing. Like, I want it to stay on for as long as possible, but if you're saying everything's out of it, and you're saying I'm gonna, like, bleed out if you don't cut it, go ahead, okay? And, yeah, and then you're just there. I mean, I had no clue I was going to get stitched up for almost an hour after. Like, it was literally like 50 or 55 minutes. They were stitching me back up, which really hurt. But apparently I was so scared of tearing from here to my booty. I did not want to tear to the booty. But that didn't happen. Thank you, universe. But I tore inside my vagina because of Dr. Sydney. I'm sure it helped get his head out more, but like, ow. So they're stitching me up. I tore like inside and I tore like somewhere else. I have no clue. I am not listening to them. I have like my precious baby on my chest. I'm not listening. Whatever. Make sure we're alive. Thank you. And so then you only have like another hour in that room once you're done being stitched up, and then you go to aftercare and they just let you take this baby across the hall and take care of it, and I'm like, yay. Like, I'm trying to breastfeed him. Like, he doesn't want it. He finally did after a bit, and like, I'm still breastfeeding now. And I'm not gonna tell you exactly how old he is, but he's 2 months old. And yeah, it was amazing. And we stayed in the hospital. Zach and my mom left right after he was born, so Zach and I stayed in the hospital for like 2 more days. So we were in the hospital for 3 days total, and I got maybe 45 minutes of sleep in those 3 days, because every time he made a noise, I could not sleep. Like, I just had to make sure he was okay the whole time. Like, you totally get these mom instincts, and I'm a person who needs my sleep, but I was just running off of, 15 minutes a night, which was fine. He ate a bunch, like, I guess you did, you still do, and that's my labor and delivery story, you guys. So, didn't expect it to be this long, but I also kind of did, because it was a long process. It was about 14 hours, I want to say. We got to the hospital at like 4 p.m. one day. I think I started like my labor process at like 7 p.m. and then he was born, I'm not going to tell you the exact time, but it was around 9 a.m. the next day. So it was about 14 or 15 hour process of the labor. So yeah, once we go to the postpartum, these people are not very helpful whatsoever. But the labor process, it was chaotic, but it was beautiful, and it went exactly how it was supposed to be. He is definitely born on the day and the time he was meant to be born at. Like, I'm so happy about his astrology, the spiritual mom thing. But yeah, he's very healthy, and that is all that matters. Would I like a more spiritual, natural birth one day? Sure, but this is totally how it was meant to happen for him, and I'm very happy, and I hope you guys enjoyed my little labor and delivery story. That was what birthing during COVID was like. The COVID didn't really affect it much. I got a COVID test when I got to the hospital, came back negative. Kept my mask on when there was doctors in the room, except when I was pushing, they were lenient about that because I was in labor. So that is all. Love and light, and the hybrid children are coming soon.